All right. That does not make sense. I'll know what's going on here in a second. That's strange. Very, very strange. Very, very strange. Yo. Hey, Dylan, a quick question. Because I believe we're on the Patreon live now. And I believe it's not open to the public. But I'm showing 42 likes on this already. I only see 3 of you in here. Is that what you guys are seeing? Did YouTube fuck that up too? I bet they did. Oh, that's so funny to me. I don't know why I find that so goddamn amusing, but every time YouTube screws up, I do. Not much going on. Really, do you guys see a 42 likes though as well? Did it just port the likes over? And yes, Christopher, you did. Actually, I was kind of doing it as a test because I noticed our YouTube views have literally been cut in a third. And yes, Dylan, we have to do it on our main channel. Okay, well that's good because I'm showing 42, so it must be an error. And the reason is because YouTube put $1,000, and now we're up to 43. Okay. Because YouTube put a limit that you have to have 1,000 subscribers in order to do a live. My personal channel, because it's pretty much locked down. There's zero content on it for that makes me do it here. So all the Patreon videos I still post on there. And the reason I do that is just because it's easier to track views and what's going on separately. But yeah. All right. First of all, I got y'all here. Let's do a little bit of reptile work, shall we? I'll take you along for the ride. One of the things I do. Oh, and Kat and Shane, I saw it comment on her post. Click on that to watch on YouTube. If you look, there should be you pull it up, and there'll be a little YouTube icon at the bottom. You can click on watch on YouTube. Then I'll be able to see your comment. Luckily, I just got to notice my watch. Because every day I kind of come in here, we just kind of open a few things. See, that's getting close to laying not there. This one wouldn't surprise me. She's really close. Probably within the next day or two, she'll drop eggs. So kind of what we do, kind of just see how everybody's doing. She's getting there. You can see how thick she is, but nothing yet. This is what I'm really worried about. I really want her to lay. Kind of looks like there's a good chance of it. So that would be awesome. So we just kind of check her females we think might be going. That's another one I'm really hoping gets the job done. So that would make me very, very happy. This is one that's not going to go, but just so pretty. Okay, I'll close her back up. This might be her last one. She's still cooling. Don't know if she's going to go. I think my banana male might be a dud. That should be a pre-egg. It's going to go, though. Definitely going to go. This one's probably not going to go. And I just missed something. The next clutch to hatch. Oh, I just missed that. I'll get to that about Will Banks. I'm hoping she goes too. We'll see. And then this one's getting close as well. So hopefully we'll get some toughing out of her. She was just on the heat and just moved off. That was her cover roll today. All right, let me go back, sit down, flip this around, and we'll talk about that. So somebody mentioned Mike Wilbanks, and you know, Mike's been at this a long time, a very, very long time. Let me see what he was. So in the market, he put out a forum on a morph market about feeding males every single day, 20 grams meals versus 100 grams a week. Yet he doesn't recommend power feeding for females. I understand the longer for females before breeding might be more eggs. Healthier snake definitely shouldn't breed underweight. But naturally, why would males be different? He claimed it doesn't affect lifespan or health. It simply makes them breed sooner. I don't know why you do that. I think that's overcomplicating things in my personal experience. Most of my males are ready to grow in a season. So how much sooner do I need them to be ready? Like, seriously. I think it's kind of silly. I also think, in this day and age where people are super sensitive about, feeding rats to snakes anyway, especially live feeding, less about frozen thawed, If I said I'm going to destroy 20 little rat lives, or 7 little rat lives, I could destroy one. I don't understand why. Uh, I don't think feeding daily is something that I'm gonna ever start doing. Now that being said, there's shit that I do different than other people too. So I'm not saying Will Banks is wrong or an idiot or anything like that. But yeah. Now on the destroying the market, I think what they're referencing is if you go on Morph Market, what Will Banks is doing is Will Banks is undercutting the shit out of a lot of prices. Why he's choosing to do that, I don't know. Couldn't tell you. But I really wonder if it's just a matter of amount of production and wanting to just blow them out and be done with it every year, or what. But Mike Wilbanks does not have the ability himself to reset the market, and that's a fact I think people will freak out about as producers and as breeders. You know what I mean? And there is definitely quantity over quality there. Not saying he doesn't make some quality animals. I've seen some of his animals that are very, very high quality. I've talked to Mike at shows before, and I'm not against Mike, and he can run his business any way he wants. But I will say this, and this kind of goes for all of you who are into breeding or getting into breeding, and maybe some of you who have been in it for longer than me or as long as me or even less than me but are doing something can speak up to this as well and tell me I'm an idiot or tell me I'm right. One of the two, I won't hold it against you. But when one person goes and prices an animal, when it's normally here, they price it here and they sell out of it. Boom, 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 boom. All 8 are gone. That does not mean the rest of the market should lower down to that, right? Just because they're doing that does not reset the price. And you're going to have people who are going, oh shit, somebody's pricing at this. I have to price at this or I'll never sell mine. It's not true. It's not true at all. If you price your animals fairly, they're going to sell. Now, you can't overprice everybody unless you're BHB. And that's not a rip on BHB. Let me point out something. I'm not ripping Brian on that at all. The fact of the matter is, Brian has a large enough name. He's built that over 20 years, 30 years. And he can do that, ask for more, and often get it because people want to say, I bought this from Brian. That's a little bit of celebrity pull, star power. And it's no different than having a celebrity advertise for a pair of jeans. More people bought Levi's, or not Levi's, more people bought the cheap-ass Walmart jeans when Brett Favre, Wranglers, when Brett Favre was saying, I wear Wranglers, it does make that happen. Yes, Wolfgeist is kind of like if you're playing an MMORPG and you're selling, somebody will crash the market and you may have to just kind of sit and wait a week and then you can sell your goods when they're all done and you can get fair market value for them. But if you're the highest one, you're never going to sell. It's just the way it is. And people are going to do that. I mean, Jimmy, and I'm a little disenfranchised. Right, and that's exactly right, Pride of Texas. If you've got something people want, they're still going to buy. And I may be a little disenfranchised because we're no Brian Borchek by any stretch of the imagination, but we probably don't have as difficult time as selling to some people because people, they tend to recognize us. They tend to have at least seen us. Some of them walk by and flip me the bird because they hate my guts, but most of them don't. And that helps, and that's a little bit of a different situation that we find ourselves in. But I don't think Mike himself can crash the market. I don't think he has the ability to do so. I mean, there are certain things I know people who will sell for $50, and I won't. Spiders, prime example. I know people who get rid of all their spiders for $50, and they'll sit there and say, it's all it's worth, blah, 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 blah. Here's the thing. I work damn hard on my spiders. I selectively breed my spiders. I try to make them a certain way. I don't. I make sure they're well cared for. I'm going to ask 90 and 75. You're also to get usually a very, very reduced pattern spider. So that's kind of the facts. And Andrew, you mentioned BHB again, and I want to point out to them too. If you go and you look at their prices versus the rest of the market prices, it's usually the rest of the market and BHB, and they still sell their shit. So my point being is you don't have to match the cheapest price ever. If we all just undercut each other, then we're going to cut off our own face. And if you hold a little bit the price, then you're going to be fine. The other kicker, though, is I think people do it because they don't have the storage for the babies or the infrastructure care for the babies. So they have to get rid of them just to get that space up. And that happens too sometimes, David. That is a great deal on a male GHI. I don't sell my male GHIs for that. I go on Morph Market, I see what prices are. I throw out the Will Banks of the world who are just, fire selling shit. And I find kind of that medium area and try to be there. I usually have a number in my brain before I go look, and I'm kind of seeing if my number's about right. And sometimes I've had to adjust down, other times I've had to adjust up. It's a, because I don't sit there and freak out over it all the time. And I know, even if I have to take them to shows, I may go to one show and not sell a certain thing, and eventually we may discount it, but I'm not going to discount it in the first, show I go to or the first few hours, or freak out because the guy on the table down there is selling it for less. Not going to do it. And I don't think it's healthy for the market to do that. So, Cody, that is a massive multiplayer online role-playing game, and believe it or not, back in the day, my first father-in-law used to be into those. So I played with him and get to know the family a little bit better. But they're fun, but now I just don't have time. I don't even have people I haven't even seen Thor Ragnarok or Avengers 3, 4, or 5, or 12, or we're up to. I just don't have time to do anything. I mean, typically my dinners are in bed, so I watch a show and fall asleep because I'm doing this all the time. So, someone says, Jimmy says, I've been getting into breeding and I got a super pastel pied and pairing with a male. I looked at Morph and saw prices between $650 and $900, which is JKR. So I bought $750 was a solid price, and that is a solid price, right? And in JKR is another example. That guy, I thought I did pretty decent at marketing. I thought, man, we built this kind of cool following, been able to use it to market. We've done all this kind of cool shit. That dude right there is a fucking genius when it comes to marketing. And he has built himself up. If you watch JKR for a length of time, for a few years, he'll focus on something. And he gets to be known as, man, JKR, that guy's really good with pies. And then he'll focus on something else. And before long, you start thinking of 4 or 5 of these genes, and the first guy that pops in your head is JKR. And you realize what he's doing from a marketing standpoint, and it's really intelligent. So that, yes, he's able to charge more, too. Evil genius, man, Justin is. Yes, Brad, we do have some calicos in the oven. The first one will be a small set. I think it's one of the next 2 clutches to get cut, which will be the Calico Blitz to the Banana Black Pastel. My Bumblebee is going to go this year, too. She's been bred to a Calico male. I expect her to go, so I'm looking for Calibees and shit like that. So, yeah, I do think we'll have some Calico. Maybe not as heavy as last year, but we'll see. So, we are 12 laid, about to collect clutch 6 and 7. So clutch 6 and 7 should happen before I leave for Florida. 7 will happen the day I'm leaving for Florida. I took that day off. I'll cut the clutch in the daytime for once right before I leave. So, right, Red Stripe, he paired them together. So, yes. And a pastel GHI female for 200. Yeah, that's a little low. I think we were doing our GHI females at about that. So, and pastel would add a little bit. So it's just, I think he's just trying to blow them all out there and make Morph Market his bitch is what I think he's trying to do. And Wolfgeist, I don't know on that. I really don't. It's one of the things I don't know with Wobble. Is it would depend on the definition of really bad, first and foremost. I do believe Wobble is definitely exacerbated by stress. If that snake ever experienced stress at some time, then that's going to cause it more. I'm a firm believer in that. Now, if it was ever overheated, not saying you did that, it's by anybody that had it before you, but can we lessen the effect by selective breeding? I think there's a good chance we can. I don't think you can breed Wobble out. You can breed it less. So if you have concern, or you don't feel good about it, then don't do it. If you do choose to do it, then I would say hold any of those babies with spider a little long. Don't just sell them right away. Hold them a little long, and see what they're doing. And see how they're functioning. And if you notice they all have a pretty noticeable wobble, then I would only do that once. Kind of like what we're doing with the black pastel. Now we're hoping she goes this year. We're gonna try to make some super black pastels. But if we can't figure out how to stop the kinking, it's a one-time shot. We're not going to continue to bang her head on that wall. I know that's probably not what everybody wants to hear on the spider thing, but yes. James, it could be. Hurricane might be too. I mean, Hurricane has some similar look. It could all be different lines of the same shit, but it could be different too. And a great example is, your lesser butters, same shit. But your bananas, your black pastels and your cinnamons are different. They're going to be allelic. I'm pretty sure those two will likely be allelic. But are they the same or not? That's hard to say. I've never owned a trick. So I can't really say. Sugar Calico is another set. And some of that, too, I think could have been, if you would have kept the lines separate, they'd stayed separate. But when you start crossing them and you can't tell, it kind of comes this, bleh. And it's impossible to know what's the difference. I have people, I can tell butter from a lesser, and I'll pull up 10 to 15 random pictures of the internet and show them butter or lesser, butter or lesser. And they usually get about half right, which is what you'd expect. I've never had anybody just nail them all out of the park. And again, internet pictures are hard, but you just can't tell. Same with Banana Coral Glow, Mystic and there's another one. It's just they all kind of run together. So it'll be interesting. Could be Phantom and Mystic. Thank you, TJ. So yeah, we'll see. Your Banana Bumblebee. See, and I think eye development has a lot to do with incubation. However, like bug eyes do pass down in super lessers. So, well, they don't pass down. Like super lessers are known to bug eye. They're going to only pass one copy of lesser, so they're not going to pass the bug eyes. But it is known to be linked to the genetics. Again, that's one of those that if you think it might be from incubation, kind of like we have our one-eyed clown. We're breeding him. I was told there had an incubation temp spike when he was produced. That's what caused the one eye. We're going to give him a shot now. If we throw one-eyed babies, guess what we'll stop doing? Breeding him. If we don't throw one-eyed babies, I'm not going to worry about it. So I would kind of do the same thing there. I might give it a shot, and I would just see, am I having a lot of small-eyed babies? Are my results from this one clutch different than all my other clutches? If this clutch here is throwing small-eyed babies, none of my other clutches are, then I know there's an issue here, and I probably should, pull that one out of the breeding just to keep the bloodlines strong and the thread true, or whatever you want to say. So I could market one-eyed trouser snakes, but I can tell you this: if I started upcharging for a one-eyed snake, it's because of what it is. One, it would sell. I would be able to sell that. But two, I would be crucified in the hobby, and rightfully so. So I probably will avoid purposely making one-eyed snakes. But it happens. I mean, there was no eyed snake. I think that Barcheck produced that he kept, and I think last knew it was doing fine, and that was likely due to incubation as well. It happens. So, and make the eyes even out. There you go. Just breed it to lesser to bring them back normally, right? I mean, it would sell because it wins you free beer. I can go to any bar and I can say my one-eyed trouser snake's bigger than yours, and if I was going to take me up on it, pull a picture of that thing up and be like, he's on a scale, and I win. He's like 7 pounds. And if I meet a man with a 7-pound one-eyed trouser snake, then I will gladly buy that dude a beer and hope to God we're never in the same prison cell. So that would be, yeah. And if we are in the same prison cell, I'm hoping he's smaller than me. I'd kick his ass. See, I've done albino to albino Andrew, and I've never had that. But my sample size is very small. And his sample size is much bigger. And it could be a typical thing there. But if it is, then why isn't everybody freaking out about that like they do spider? I made a comparison today. Somebody commented on one of my spider videos about how it's like trying to breed a guy with one arm, no legs, and like all this. I'm like, no, there's no no quality of life issues. You know, like, and I compared them like it's the proper comparison. Like this would be a person with like a tick. That's what a wobble really is. That doesn't affect them socially. I mean, a human being with a tick or a speech tick, it can affect them socially. It can make them feel self-conscious. It can make them feel all kinds of shit. But snakes, they don't give a rat's ass. They don't care. And then I also compared albinos are like redheaded people, because they're going to be light sensitive. But should we stop breeding albinos and tell redheaded people not to breed? It's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. But people freak out anyway. Right, there's also that, but they don't. It all came from a couple of videos from a kid that, bless his heart, he's trying. But he, I'll be honest, doesn't know his ass from a hole in the ground when it comes to breeding ball pythons. Other things, he does. But anybody that says, oh, my snake hasn't eaten in a year, it's an adult and I'm force feeding it, but it's fine. And it's going to take the goddamn food I want it to take. Well, no, it's not. It's not how you do that. You got to give it what it'll eat. So, yes. If balls could talk about balls, we'd have some serious issues, right? All right, guys, so anything you want to know about this going on? I think our next clutch to be laid will be another clown, which means we'll have 2 clown clutches in a row from our boy, so that's good. How's your DHI? All the DHIs are doing good, Martok. They're all doing fine. So, and we will probably need to send out some notices this weekend because I think I can probably ship on Monday as long as I'm able to get through Sunday. So, I usually leave a male in the field. I'll leave it 3 to 4 days until I see him breed and pull him out and move him. So. The next clutch update, we've already filmed it. So it's coming out. It'll be clutch 3, and it should hit hopefully on kind of the video schedule as I'm trying to get clutch 3 out. I'm going to film clutch 4 probably this week on Monday. So they're both coming out. Clutch 3 is the Bumblebee to, or actually it's a pastel to Zeus. So some of the Zeus babies, his first babies will be going up for sale. Yay. And there's basically the available list is pretty much, I think, some normals. I mean, we just posted that list not long ago, and I'd have to look to see what changed on it. There was a few things that are off of it. And dinner is probably nachos. And I don't know, Ragnarok, I don't know on Tinley. I'd like to go, but again, it all is going to come down to schedule and money. We're doing the Florida trip, and that's going to take a bit of expense, especially since we're not selling anything there. But October is a Corvette weekend. That's a tradition for my wife and I to go to. And we also got married in Eureka Springs, and there's no way I'm going to miss that trip. So I will miss Tinley to make that trip with her, and I'll do that every year if I needs to be. So, however, I would like to get in the habit of going to the other Tinley. I know it's not as big, but at least I can show my pretty face there, and people will say, hey, Matt actually does come to Tinley every now and then. I do foresee a lot of times when I go to shows being very Brian Cusco-like, and what I mean is I don't think Cusco goes to shows and sells unless he's doing it for Freedom Breeder, and we're going to be in the same boat 90% of the time. I'm not going to be going to shows and taking racks of snakes, at least for right now. As we grow, hopefully we will, but you guys are basically taking up everything worthwhile, so yes. October 12th through 13th, then David, there is a chance. I'll say that. But it will also depend on work schedule and everything else if they're going to let me take that time off and what Kurt's doing because Kurt's got a new job. He doesn't have as much leave time right now, and his days off are going to be, let me make sure I get this right, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, which is nice but sucks for reptile shows. He was hoping for Saturday, Sunday, Monday like me, but it just didn't work out. So yes. Arlington would be a possibility sometime too. Arlington's a little farther than Chicago for me, I think. Daytona is obviously a long ways away, but there's another reason we go to Daytona. One, my brother lives in Daytona, so it's a chance for me to go for work, but I also get to see my brother, and I get to see my nieces and nephews in Daytona that I normally wouldn't get to see very often. So I make a special trip there. Yeah. But we'll definitely check into Arlington, and doing more shows is something we want to do. Something else we have an idea about. Well, I can't tell you. I want to tell you, but I can't tell you. remind me to tell you about Kurt and mine's spin-off idea for filming. Wouldn't be reptile related necessarily, it'd just be fun after our next news show. Can't tell you till after the next news show release because I don't want to spoil anything. So stop it. Stop what? Where to go? Or ruining things. I'm not gonna ruin it. Our next news show, news show, is really, really fun. I'm excited to get that out. It's gonna be a blast. But yes. Excuse me. I know you guys will, and I want to go to Texas. I actually do have family in Texas as well, so I'm not anti-Texas at all. But my brother is the only blood brother I got, and I get to see. When you see my little great niece here, news is back, and my niece here, which you've been on a few videos, those were his kids. That's my kid's daughter, and so I'm very, very close with them, and I get to kind of proxy that he doesn't get to do because he's so far away. So but I don't get to see his current crop of kids very often. He had kind of 2 crops of kids. He got the 3 oldest, and then he's got a break, and then he's got 3 more. So there's 6 total that we know of. There could be way more out there that we'll find out about later, but we know about 6. So I do look forward to seeing them. So Florida will always get a little bit of priority because of that. South Carolina for a show are on the way. And on the way, we probably won't. I think we cut down through Hotlanta and work our way that way last time we made that drive. I've been to Daytona one other time. But if you guys are in Daytona, I do want to, and I'll put up a post and we'll do comments about it right before then and try to plan it out. I would like to maybe get enough people together and maybe make a restaurant reservation for a table of whatever, probably 2, 3. And maybe have a Patreon dinner down there. We all meet and just, something like Applebee's or Chili's. Something simple. I'm not trying to go crazy. But all kind of hang out and just bullshit. Right? That would be fun. I know they do that show me a lot, Stephanie, and I probably will try to sneak to that. Like I say, I know I did it one time. Last time I was there, I think I bought shit that was missexed. Missexed. I bought 2 snakes. I swear to God, they fucked up the sex on both of them. So the one that was supposed to be a male, I even thought, damn, I wonder if I just got that wrong in my head. And then I found one of the cups one came in, and nope. But I wasn't mad. It happens. It happens. I am a Coors drinker. It happens frequently. It's easy to do. So that's why on our sheets, if you've ever got one, it says we believe it to be. So, because you can mess that up. But we do go to Minnesota. Somebody said, come to Minnesota. We frequently go to Minnesota. Now, not always for a reptile show. We go for Viking games. So if you're a Viking fan and you're in Minnesota, come to the stadium, we'll be there. And I got family in Minnesota too. So Minnesota, Texas, Florida, I got family all over. I also like going to Colorado because Colorado shows have been very good to me and it's not too long of a drive and I love the mountains. So, eventually what I'd like to do, guys, is travel all over. I don't want to be stuck in Kansas. I love Kansas. I love where I live. It is gorgeous. I'm extremely blessed to have the view that I have, to live where I live. Wouldn't trade it for the world. But that doesn't mean I don't like seeing the rest of the country and the rest of places. And there is definitely something to be said for waking up in Colorado and looking out and seeing the mountains. It's awesome. So I will. It'll be this year. I just don't know what time. When is the Daytona show? Well, shit. Let me look. Sorry. Well, I don't want to look because I'll have to turn off the stream to do it. It's the only phone I got in here. But I want to say it's this month, and I want to say it's like the 16th and 17th or 17th and 18th or something like that. I will try to give you guys a heads up at any show I go to. So if I'm going to a show, I'm going to let you know ahead of time. That way, 17th and 18th, there it is. That way you guys are aware. So if you're in the area and you want to come by, I'm going to be there. It will be a surprise. And like I say, I'm not vending at that, but I will be wearing this every day. I should be pretty easy to spot. We're going to be trying to score some interviews and some filming and do some things. I did that one year there, and I got to interview Tom Crutchfield. I remember I was so excited because Tom's kind of a hero of mine. That dude's done all kinds of crazy shit, right? And we only had the camera audio at the time, and Tom talks kind of quiet. We didn't have the microphones, and the audio was totally useless and I didn't get to use the footage. So I'm really hoping to get to sit down again with Tom and just pick his brain for like 15 minutes for you guys. I mean, Tom has been involved in the reptile industry for a long time. He was on Locked Up Abroad on a smuggling deal once, but he's also worked a ton of venomous stuff. And I mean, Rhino. I mean, was one of the first ones to do albino iguanas. Like Tom's done it all. It's awesome. That would be Andrew. I am all for that. And I thought about doing a drunk live before or a drunk video before. If you guys want to do a drunk live, just let me know and we'll do it. And I'll probably do it with Devil's Cut and Coke because that's kind of my go-to lately. And I was in Missouri, which has a really cheap liquor, and I bought an entire big-ass fucking bottle. So maybe we'll do it for the end of the year, end of the season wrap-up. We'll get fucked up and we'll do it live. That'd be fun. So it'd be great. Last time we were in Vegas, though, we weren't there for snakes. We did go to the Grand Canyon, and I will admit to looking in a few places and then see shit, that we were hiking all around there. It was a ton of fun. I would like to go to Arizona and do some herping, and I'm actually going to try to work on that next week when I'm in Florida. I got some plans. I'm going to try to move some pieces on the chessboard so I can get it done. So, all right, guys. I do need a mod. I just haven't ever done. We haven't had as many problems lately with trolls. Honestly, it's been pretty good. How long does it take? Man, Brad, that's all over the map. So, like, what can happen is, they're going to lay and ovulate. And after ovulation, you can start a clock. But before then, we can't really, there's no way to tell. So ovulation is when you start it. You know what? We have had people mail us craft beer, and I always say thank you. So if y'all mail me your favorite craft beer, Kurt and I will sit here and fucking get hammered one night. I'm not going to promise you we'll drink all of it, because you guys would probably kill me. So, yeah. But the zoo's doing good. I mean, it's coming along, growing pains, shit like that. But it's still there, and it's not making any money, but I never expected it to. It's paying for itself, and that's really all I can ask. So, all right, guys, the wife just yelled at me because dinner's ready, and I still need to check at her house. She doesn't know that yet. But yeah. Or a free giveaway the next day. Oh, my God, that's how I get alcohol poisoning. I don't know how people mail it. I think they just mail it in a box and don't say what it is. The two-headed Trish is doing great. We're going to attempt to make both heads eat on Sunday. It's been eating on its own a little bit, but we have to get both heads feeding. That is a very, very key thing from what I've been told. So we're going to work on that. All right, guys. Thank you so much. I love each and every one of you for what you contribute. You guys have no idea what you mean to us, especially like now when the YouTube is completely crashing for us. It's what we do here that is able to fund things like, our little personal zoo, which you guys are going to get to see as it keeps going, and everything that we're doing. It funds a Florida trip. It funds the new projects I want to get while I'm there, and all of those things. So I just want to take a minute to say thank you, and it's really special for me you guys choose to be here. So love you all. See you next time.